Into thy hands I commit my spirit. He gives up the ghost, it says here in Luke. The doctor says, and having said this, he gave up the ghost. You know, he says in John's gospel, therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I may take it up again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down. I have power to take it up again. This commandment I have received of my Father. His work was done. He was finished. You know, a normal human may have died earlier than that, from dehydration, from the beating, from the scourging. He kept himself alive until this work was done and it was completed. And when the work was done, when it was paid in full, he said, Father, into thy hands do I commend my spirit. And of his own will, he gave up the ghost, it says. In the middle of all of this, remarkable signs, 3 hours of darkness, an earthquake recorded in history. Josephus says 40 years before the destruction of the temple, there was a major earthquake. Some of those other historians saying things falling to the ground across Judea and the Mediterranean world. Luke tells us the veil in the temple was torn. Luke tells it to us before he says, Father, in thy hands I commend my spirit. Matthew tells us afterwards. The idea is simultaneously. It's 3 p.m. It's the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice at 3:00. Priests are officiating in the temple. The veil between the holy place and the Holy of Holies is over 60 foot high. It's stretched across the entire width of the temple, not tight. It's scalloped. There's play in it. Luke tells us it's torn in the midst. Matthew tells us it's torn from top to bottom. Josephus said the veil was a handbreadth thick. That's how thick it was woven. Cars couldn't pull that apart. And it says when Jesus gives up the ghost, the veil in the temple is torn from top to bottom, laying open the Holy of Holies, and all of us having access now to a holy God through the death of his son. And old Jerusalem starts to rumble and to rock and to roll, and the whole thing is moving. It says the centurion, when he saw these things, he said, surely this was a righteous man. I like Matthew's rendition. Matthew says, now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared, it's the centurion and those that were with him, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the Son of God. It says the others that were there went away beating their breasts. They realized something is so wrong. What have we done? The people that knew him from Galilee standing afar off watching. This scene is remarkable.